So my name is Elizabeth LaFontaine. I am a director of analytical research here at Placer AI, and it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker. So right now we're going to be hearing about navigating retail's future, presented by our partners at JLL. And really what we're going to be hearing about is a lot of different emerging trends across grocery and luxury and retailtainment, and really sort of what are we seeing in terms of innovation today at retail, and really what do we need to be aware of in the years to come as we think about serving our consumers best when it comes to their retail shopping behavior, and really what are the things that we need to be thinking about as we carry our industry forward over the next few years. So with that, please help me in welcoming our presenter, James Cook, who is the head of retail research for JLL.
Thank you. You guys can hear me okay? So my name is James. I am the retail research guy at JLL. I like to tell people that my job is to think about the future of retail and real estate. Let's get these slides going here in just a second. All right. I like to tell people my job is to think about the future, but I don't actually think about it as one single future. Instead, we've started to think about it as many possible potential futures. So today we're going to talk about potential futures of retail. For the last year or so at JLL, we've conducted this research project called Future Vision. And the idea is that we're going to envision possible futures, not just for retail, but for the built environment around the world. So we're envisioning all of these possible futures, but this is not me. This is not stuff that I came up in a fever dream. We gathered experts from around the world. We did a series of workshops, one-on-one interviews. My team collected data and case studies. We're talking to anthropologists and urbanists and psychologists and a lot of smart people. And they all told us how we might live, work, and play in the future. And then our real estate experts and retail experts at JLL took that back and said, okay, what does that mean for the built environment? And specifically, I'm going to talk to you today about what that means for retail and retail real estate, shopping centers. So the first thing I want to say is I am not predicting the future. I'm going to talk to you about potential possible futures, some of them more likely than others, because I think that predicting the future is a fool's errand. Way back in 1998, Time Magazine told us that we were going to kiss our malls goodbye. Fast forward to what's like 26 years later, and we ran a global research study and found that 64% of shoppers around the world still prefer to shop in person as compared to online. So the way they shop in person, though, is quite different. It is an omni-channel experience. Maybe they're doing research on their phone or their laptop at home before they're buying it in store. Maybe they bought something online and they returned it in store. So the reason why 64% of people prefer to go to the store is because of the awesome omni-channel retail experience that they have today. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to be walking around the world and we're going to encounter some portals into other retail multiverses. We got any Doctor Strange fans out there? No? Okay. We're going to go to different retail multiverses to explore some potential futures of retail. And I want to caution you, I did use DALL-E to generate some imagery for this presentation, and I'm not trying to fool you. So everything that was created with AI tools has been labeled. I'm also going to be talking about stuff that's going on today that inspires this vision of the future, and you'll be able to tell that I didn't fake video. You'll be able to tell when it's real. But anyway, the AI stuff is labeled. Okay, so we're walking along a street in a typical suburban neighborhood, and a portal to the first retail multiverse opens up. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, in this potential retail future, everything in your home has a sensor, and your pantry has a sensor. So if you're running low on milk, that milk is automatically delivered to you via drone on the ground, or perhaps a flying drone in the air. And I made this one. This is actually one that I made with an AI video tool. I made this one flying at night to show you that drones can fly when electricity is cheaper, So when we're designing homes for this possible future where everything can be delivered as needed via flying drones, we have to think about how the environment is designed for these drones. So we're going to have special landing areas for flying drones, and we're going to have charging areas, and residential communities are going to have to be designed with these autonomous drones in mind. An office building or an apartment building in a city can have a place for drones to land on the roof and drop off items. And when you're designing a shopping center, you're going to have to think about the infrastructure for these autonomous drones. A place to stage them, a place to load them, a place to fix them when they're broken, a place to store them. So there's all this infrastructure that's going to have to go into play in this possible future. Okay, so you're saying, James, that's crazy. And I'm saying, no, there's stuff that like this that is happening right now today. It's not at large scale yet, but it's coming. Samsung has a refrigerator where you put something inside the refrigerator and it automatically adds that to the refrigerator's inventory. If you take Apple out of the refrigerator, it removes the inventory so it knows what's in the refrigerator. If I put in grapes, it'll tell me when the grapes are about to go bad so I can eat them before they go bad. If I want to make a recipe and I don't know what to make for dinner tonight, my refrigerator knows what's in the refrigerator and suggests to me a recipe that I can make using items that are inside my refrigerator. And talk about automatic replenishment. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but on sites like Amazon, there's a whole bunch of items that you can order that automatically replenish themselves. There's like 150, 160 items on Amazon last time I checked. A lot of these are printers, right? So when the printer's running low on cartridge, on printer ink, it automatically orders a new cartridge for you. But there's also electric toothbrushes that will order new toothbrush heads when you need them, when you need a new one. Things that'll order batteries when the batteries are running low. But I mean, it's a lot of printers. I think that's really the main thing here. There's a lot of printers that order their own cartridges when they need to. But this is called Amazon Smart Reorder. And then there's lots of delivery going on by autonomous vehicles already. Starship is delivering at over 50 U.S. college campuses. They've done 6 million deliveries all around the world. Starship is mostly on college campuses. I live in Indiana, so this is at Purdue University, which is not far from where I live. But I'm sure you're sophisticated people. You've seen robots delivering down the street in different neighborhoods around the world. So that can be more ubiquitous, as can Walmart's new flying drone delivery at a growing number of Walmarts in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Walmart is delivering via flying drone within a 10-mile radius of a growing number of Walmart locations. Their goal is to deliver from 75% of Walmarts in DFW. So because of recent changes in regulation, we can have these semi-autonomous drones doing delivery within a 10-mile radius of a Walmart. And guys, this is huge. I don't know if you know this, but 90% of Americans live within a 10-mile radius of a Walmart, so that when you need to get that energy drink within 30 seconds or less, it's right there for you as soon as you need it. So the use case for this is a little bit limited. These guys only carry like 6 pounds at this point. Of course, they're going to have larger ones at some point. But people who live in the neighborhoods where they can do these deliveries say it's great if I need, I don't know, curry powder or chili peppers or something. I can get that just delivered to my front yard, in 30 minutes or less using the Walmart app right there on my phone. Okay, let's visit another possible future. So we're in, that looks like a New York street. We're in front of a store in a quasi New York street. We've got another portal that opens up. This time we are in a retail future where the division between physical and digital is completely blurred. So we all have an AI agent that kind of tells us what would be cool to wear, helps us get dressed, give us clothing recommendations based on our own style. Every person has a digital twin. Every item for sale in the store has a digital twin. So when I go to buy a suit, my digital twin has already tried on a digital twin of that suit. So I can go in trying on clothing knowing that it's going to fit. Personally, for me, my best use case for this is like when I was a kid, I really hated back to school shopping. I hated trying on clothes. I don't really love it to this day. Of course, I have to do it, but I would have loved it if my mom could have used my digital twin to try out clothing so I didn't even have to try it on. She just bought it for me. So that's a good use case there that I'd be excited about. Okay, so we talked about AI styling agents. We talked about digital twins. Like, what in reality today might point toward that possible future? Well, we have a lot of virtual try-ons. This is from a company called Wana. They did a virtual try-on with Valentino. So the gentleman in this video is real, but the jacket that he is wearing is not. There's a lot of different virtual try-ons out there, a lot with glasses. I think they're easy to do. So Specsavers has an app where you can try on glasses or sunglasses and take a selfie of yourself. And it's funny because this is literally exactly what I do when I try on glasses, is take selfies of myself and text them to my wife. And then she tells me which ones look the best on me. So that's pretty easy. But there are others. There's virtual sneaker try on. I am a runner, so I go through a bunch of pairs of sneakers every year. And I would love it if I could just get sneakers without having to try them on. So I saw this video. This is great marketing. I was like, this is the app for me. I can just virtually try on any pair of sneakers that I want. I love this vision. So I downloaded the app, and this is video of me using the app for the first time. And I was like, yeah, this is a little clunky. This isn't quite living up to the hype. And at first I was like, am I doing something wrong with this virtual try-on app? I messed around with it for quite some time. And then I went back to that video that I just showed you, and I realized that in the small print, it said like app screen is a simulation, you know? So they weren't even showing the actual app, because if they were, you would see something like this. Okay, so it's still early days for virtual shoe try on, right? But, you know, give it 5 years and this is going to be pretty cool. I like those sneakers. What do you think? Nah, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, what about AI stylists? So there is a growing number of apps out there that will say they will be your AI stylist. I was going to try out this one too, until I discovered that you have to take a photo of everything in your wardrobe to start off. This woman in this video, it took her 12 hours to take photos of everything in your wardrobe, and you have to like tag it and label it. And it seems like a lot of effort. And it's not even really a stylist. Like, a stylist is somebody who takes you out shopping, right? But this is an app that recommends unique combinations of clothing that you already own. So it's giving you recommendations. I actually did a lot of research on this and found that folks who did go through and input all their clothing really thought it was pretty cool, the combinations of clothing that the app recommended that they wouldn't have thought of. However, again, this is nothing like a real AI stylist. This isn't somebody who's going to really blow your mind and open up your wardrobe and take you shopping and find new clothing for you. Okay, let's head to another possible future. We're at another, I think this is another clothing store. We've got another portal that's opened up. Let's step through it. Okay, in this possible retail future, everything in the retail store has been automated, except for the human that sells you the stuff, the store associate. Everything else in the store has been automated. And because of that, the store associate is really like an influencer. And the retail store is equipped as sort of a multimedia production studio. So there's cameras and microphones, and there's an AI-driven production team. So if, for example, I'm in this cooking store and the store associate gives a demonstration of cooking in store, as soon as he finishes, the virtual AI production team creates a short how-to video, cut together, fast cuts, cool music, and instantly posts it online. So you, as the store associate, everything that you're doing is becoming content for social media that's representative of that store. And not only is it in your neighborhood or in your country, but because of technology in this possible future, I can be speaking in English, and this woman can be sitting on a subway in Tokyo and hear me speaking in my voice, but in her language, in Japanese. So that's a pretty out there future? What does the current state of live stream multimedia shopping look like? Well, believe it or not, we still have QVC. As I was doing the research for this piece, I had to Google to make sure that QVC still exists, and it does. And there are 3 QVC channels, and there's others. There's like Home Shopping Network, that's still around. So I was thinking, okay, so QVC, this is like boomer live streaming, right? So what is millennial live streaming, which is obviously Amazon Live, which I'm sure some of you have at least checked out once or twice because it's right there in Amazon, which we often live in. So these are influencers demonstrating things and selling them to you. But I was like, okay, but what is Gen Z? Like, what's the Gen Z version of the Home Shopping Network? And one of them, anyway, is this app called Network. And it's live streamers selling you sneakers, selling you streetwear, and having a good time, obviously, while they're doing it. This guy's having a good time. I think this is successful. I am not the target demo for this one, guys. I know, shocking, right? But there's certainly a future for live stream shopping out there. And then I told you everything in the retail store of that possible future is automated. And we've got a lot of automation in retail right now. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the Tally robot. You can find it in Schnucks supermarkets here in the US. This is a robot that all day long cruises up and down the aisles, checking the inventory on all of the shelves, alerting store associates when something is out or something is shelved in the wrong spot. I thought Tally was really cool until I found out about this next one. This is Verity, and I do a podcast, and I had the CEO of Verity on my show a couple of months ago. And this guy is in use in at least 60 retail stores. I cannot tell you the brand name, but it's a brand you know. At night, when they close the doors, lock up, and turn on the lights, these drones go to work, and they fly through the store and take inventory. And they're not even super fast. They're just slow and methodical. Now, this video, the light is on. In real life, they don't need lights. So they're just flying around in the dark, taking inventory all night. And when they land to recharge, then they upload all of that inventory data to the cloud. So I asked the CEO of Verity, like, why did you, because he's like a globally known robotics expert. And I was like, why did you decide to tackle store inventory? And he's like, well, it is the thing that retail store associates hate to do the most. I don't know if that's true, but it's pretty bad. I've done retail myself, and inventory was something we were always not good at. It's something that people don't like to do, but if you do it well and your system is 100% on inventory, you can see a real return on that investment. Okay, now we're going to go to a power center, a retail big box. Retail as far as the eye can see. No, I take that back. Parking lots and retail as far as the eye can see. Now let's walk through another portal and see what this possible future is. It's a mixed-use paradise. All of the retail all the big boxes have been redeveloped into mixed-use live, work, and play environments. What once was a parking lot is now an apartment building. You know, you've got a daycare for the kids. There's work, there's food, and all of those big box stores that have been redeveloped. What are the big box retailers doing now? Well, they've opened up all of these small, little walkable stores that you can get to within walking distance, and they carry all of the things that you need for your daily needs. Okay. Oh, and of course, what happens to the mall in this future? Well, we rip the roof off of it. We put in some plants. We have some food and beverage, we have some office, we have some residential, and what was once just an enclosed mall is now an open-air mixed-use experience. So I act a little bit silly because I know it seems a little bit utopian, but it is a utopia that I am searching for. I'm reaching for myself. My team did a big research project. We found almost 200 enclosed malls that had been redeveloped. Over half of them into mixed-use projects. Over half of them also had a housing component. I randomly just picked one example. This isn't a special one or anything. I just randomly picked Alderwood Mall in Linwood, Washington, and that's the rendering of right before it was built in 1979. Classic, right? Victor Gruen enclosed mall with 2 anchors. Chef's kiss, right? What happens though is malls have to evolve, and Alderwood Mall is doing that. A few years ago, they added an open air, what we call a lifestyle center component. So that's open air with higher end boutiques. It's outside. There's good restaurants, both casual and sit down dining. And then just a few years ago, they took what was formerly a Sears box, and this is owned by Brookfield, and they partnered with Avalon to put in, I think this is about 300 units of multifamily. But this is not just standing there isolated in the parking lot. It's actually connected to the mall. So there's a walkway up on the, I guess that would be the second floor, maybe that's the third floor, that connects you directly to the mall. So Alderwood is becoming a true mixed use experience. And we're seeing more and more malls, the good ones anyway, that are attempting to do that. And I talked about the big box stores that are doing smaller versions. Well, if you've been to the UK, you've seen Tesco Expresses. So Tesco is the big supermarket, and these Tesco Expresses are small little high street locations. You get off the metro, you're walking back to your home. You stop at the Tesco Express on your way home to pick up some food for dinner. Aldi has been doing these corner store concepts in Australia. These are about half the size of a traditional Aldi. And what they carry is what they carry on the shelves has been adapted to what people want in the local neighborhood. Okay, this is a good one. We're going to a restaurant. What craziness are we going to see in the retail multiverse when it comes to a restaurant? Let's check it out. Yeah, it looks pretty normal, right? Not a whole lot going on. Okay, this is something that we call the reality premium. And this is the idea, and it's happening today, but it's going to happen even more in this future, is that people are so fed up with technology that they're going to pay extra money just to have a normal human experience. So the best restaurant has no QR codes. It has no delivery robots. It has no technology at all. You're just talking to a human who's ordering your food. But in this possible future, there are still robots. There is still automation. At this restaurant, though, it's just in the kitchen. So all of the food is still being prepared by robots. Also, I should say, in this possible future, all of the fast food restaurants, they've got robots in the front of the house because it's all about cost and convenience, right? Okay, so what are some examples today of this possible retail future? Miso Robotics has a number of kitchen robots. This summer, they did a pop-up called Cali Express to show, this was in Pasadena, to show off their robots. They have a smash burger guy right there. They've got another guy that operates a fries station. Oh, you could also pay for the burgers with your face as well. So this was just a pop-up to demonstrate their technology, but the robots from Cali Express are being used in a growing number of restaurants in the back of the house today. Now, I want to call out, though, CBS Weekend News because they got something wrong. It says right here it's the world's first AI-powered restaurant, and it is absolutely not, because I live in the Midwest, where the Mall of India food court has been around for a number of years. Check this out. So, Nala Robotics is running a food court that has Indian, Mexican, and Thai food all being prepared by these robots back of the house. So Nala Robotics is actually a company out of India, and all of the work is done in India. The recipes are developed in India, and they upload the recipes to the cloud. And then here in Naperville, Illinois, right outside of Chicago, the robots download those recipes and prepare them for diners. Something that I noticed that's similar between this one and the other one that I just showed you is that even though we have robots back of the house, you still have people in the front of the house, like taking the food in a container and putting it in a bag and adding condiments and handing it over to you at the end. So it's not truly a fully automated experience. So these are fast food QSR restaurants. I want to give you one casual dining example as well. Haidilao is a hot pot chain in most locations are in China, but they have a number of robot restaurants. So this is the one of them in Beijing. So it's very popular. So there's a waiting room at Haidilao where you can play some video games there while you wait. When you walk into the dining area, you can see there's digital screens projected on the wall so they can change those to anything. And when you sit down, you can order food via a digital menu. And the kitchen itself is fully automated. So everything that you're ordering on your digital menu is being assembled by these robot arms in the kitchen. They're taking all of the food off of the shelves that you've ordered, putting it onto a tray, and then putting that tray onto a robot guy who delivers it to your table. Although I'll have to say, in order to get it to your table, you saw there's a human hand there that still puts it on the table. Also, it is hot pot. So it's not really like a fully automated kitchen because you got to cook the food yourself at the table anyway. Okay, let's visit one more possible future. So one of the industries that has a real problem in the US right now is the fashion industry and how wasteful it is. So we envisioned a possible future where the fashion industry is part of a completely circular economy. So everything that you buy, all the clothing that you buy is made out of materials that can be recycled and reused. So every retail store is like a fabrication studio. So I could return a shirt to this store and it can be refabricated into, I don't know, a suit or a dress. It's all part of the circular economy. Do we have anything like that today? I wish. It's not quite that good. I'm sure you know that some retailers accept, like H&M, accept clothing donations, but we don't have anything that is truly circular. There are some cool examples, though, of retail reselling. For example, this is Retuna in Sweden, which is the world's first secondhand mall, or maybe they call it the recycling mall. It's co-located next to a recycling donation center. There are 14 different retail concepts that are independently operated, and each one only sells items that were donated to that recycling center. So you've got electronics stores, sports stores. They do have a cafe. That's not recycled, though. So I guess they're wrong. It's not 100% recycled. But anyway, you can buy all kinds of secondhand stuff. This is the first one in Sweden. There's also one that opened in Norway a few years after that. So the world's first recycling mall. Okay, so I just took you on a trip around the retail multiverse, and it was fun. It was interesting, but you're probably sitting there saying, James, okay, so what? Why do I care about any of this? So here's why we spend all of our time thinking about these possible retail futures. It's a tool for our clients. So we sit down with them and try to brainstorm scenarios on possible, probable, and improbable futures in their own business. And then we game out how the business would adapt to those changes. So you can start asking questions about what possible futures might impact our business. For example, a lot of times I'll hear people say, okay, we know AI is going to be big. How do we need to be using AI for efficiency or for personalization, like an AI shopping assistant? Or what technology partnerships should we be exploring? I mean, that's the big one, right? Once you envision a possible future, now I've got to find the technology to help us deal with that. So, if you're interested in learning more, I wrote a whole report about this stuff. It's at jll.com. It's called Prepare Yourself for the Future of Retail. If you go to the research section, there's a whole future vision section. But I got a bonus for you guys. I also host the podcast. I host 2 podcasts. If you're interested in the future of retail and retail real estate, Where We Buy podcast, it's on Spotify or any podcast app that you use. Just search for Where We Buy and hit subscribe. It's totally worth it, I swear. And then we have another show about the future of the built environment called JLL Trends and Insights. Since you guys are here to talk about retail, though, I'm going to say check out Where We Buy. That's going to be the one for you to listen to. Okay. I've been James Cook, and I'm happy to answer any questions or comments that you all have.